Now, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 7, Episode 9, the Next DJI Drone. Hope everyone is doing well on this Tuesday evening. We're actually having some decent weather down here in Florida. It was in the mid-70s today. No humidity right now. Just, really kind of dialed in. It's absolutely ideal. Just in time for spring break. That's coming up. March is rolling right around the corner. We got a full house already. You guys jumped on the bandwagon here tonight. Akarasho, Drone Shots, Buddy Bieber, Michael Wright. And incidentally, to Michael Wright, a hearty congratulations on becoming a grandfather. There's no better feeling in the world, my friend. Congratulations again. Jay Bird is here. Let's see. Flying Plane Media. Who else we got? Captain Ray. Captain Ray, hope you're doing well. See, you're out and about. I know you must be doing well. You're out there flying your drone. That is absolutely good therapy, as our good friend Bill Thomas would say, drone therapy, 100%. USA Drone Flyer Captain Joe Merrick is here. Let's see who else we got. Let's see. Richard is here. Northside Hawk, Alvin Prather. Let's see who else is here. JJ Combs. All right. Good deal. First of all, we already said to Michael, congratulations on becoming a grandfather. It's a fantastic feeling. And I'm just so happy and thrilled for you, and hope everyone's doing well. And you know what? You can't hold a grandchild long enough. You can't be around them too much. So enjoy that. Absolutely, positively enjoy that time. Casey Crime Fighter, welcome. Good to see you tonight too. Who else was I going to say? Oh, and Captain Ray, glad to see you're up and about and doing things. Very pleased to see that. That's awesome. Follow the rehabilitation. If you go to physical therapy, keep up with it. Don't miss it. It really makes a difference, because I know that made a big difference for my dad when he had surgery too. So, I did find some things to talk about tonight. There's no real drone news as far as a release is concerned, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later at the end of the show when Ron and Marcus join me as well too. Want you guys, let's see, first thing I do want to talk about tonight is I have a brand new video, and I dropped the link in the chat for you guys, and it was probably, I'm going to say this, I can't tell you how much fun I had putting this video together. There I am with my closed eyes there. Okay. All right. But I'm going to give you a little sample. I'm just going to give you a little peek here, what I did here. And it's of my Tundra. So I think you guys will really enjoy it after the show. Make sure you get out there and check it out. It's only 3 minutes long. It's very short, but I had a lot of fun putting it together. So please go out there, give it a thumbs up, give it a comment, really, and give it a watch. I really appreciate that. Like I said, I had a lot of fun doing that. And that same video is going to go on to Tundra Nation Basics. And speaking of Tundra Nation Basics, I know a number of you have subscribed. Thank you so much. Starting out really well on Tundra Nation Basics. I got 42 subscribers out there. My first couple videos have hit over 1,400, 1,500. Well, I've had one like 2,000 or 3,000, which is good. The other one's at 1,500 or so. My welcome video is doing well. Thank you guys so much. And spread out the word. We're going to have a lot of fun on that channel. I got a ton more content. I've already got some content ready to be released. I have, I think, about 4 or 5 videos ready to be released. So, and I want to get them out, stagger them out there. But make sure you subscribe to that channel. Make sure that you get out there and watch and give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that, guys. Really appreciate that. And I think we're going to have some fun on that channel, and I'm going to have giveaways too. I'm in the process of working on we're going to do a once a month live stream. I'm going to get some people from the automotive industry, some other reviewers out there. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be a good time. Also, for those of you that follow me on my Ham Radio Basics channel, Sergeant Rock, I don't know if you're here tonight or not, but my channel is growing like crazy. I'm about 400 hours away. I think 400 hours away from getting monetized. So, and I'm gaining subscribers like crazy. I'm up to 2,200 subscribers on that channel. So for those of you that have subscribed, fantastic. if you have any inclination about ham radio, it's the perfect place, because I really start out, like I said, I go into basics. I don't get into real in-depth, over your head stuff with that channel. So go out there, give it a look. And this is kind of like a shameless plug for my channel. I have a show Wednesday nights, and we go over the news and things. Tomorrow night I'm going to talk a little bit about, now you guys recently know AT&T had a big outage, but he said it was because of the solar spots. No, it had nothing to do with that. But conversely, okay, when cell phone grids go down, when cell phones are down, there's ham radio. And one of the things that's fantastic about that is, you can talk on a hand talkie, an HT. They're pretty much the smaller version of a walkie talkie. But if you hit repeaters, you can talk to people 50, 75, 100 miles away. And if you talk, simplex, you can talk, if you have a good antenna and you're outside, you can talk, maybe 5-10 miles away. So that is another form of communication. A general license can get you started with that. If you upgrade to a technician, if you upgrade to a general, you can get some privileges for HF radio, which is distance radio. And if you get all the way up to amateur extra, all the bands are open to you. But I've encouraged Valerie, and I think she's going to start looking at getting her technician license. That way she can have an HT and we can communicate in case there's some kind of outage. And I strongly encourage you guys. And I'm going to make you an offer, okay? Ham Test Prep has the best courses out there, okay? And if any of you, and I mean this, any of you are interested in getting your technician license, okay, email me here, okay, at Bill the Drone Reviewer. Hey, Bill, I'm interested in getting a technician license for ham radio. If you do that, okay, I will pay for your technician course through Ham Test Prep, which is the best. It's a lifetime access to that, no holds barred, okay? People take it and they pass that. It's as close to about 100% as you want with that. So if you're interested, there's an outstanding offer to everybody on Bill the Drone Reviewer, okay? If you want to get your technician license in ham radio, email me at billthedronereviewer@gmail.com, and I will pay for that class for you. That's how much I think about that class. I had the CEO, James Cribbs, and I talked to him when I was out at Hamcation. Wonderful guy. Absolutely wonderful guy. Sergeant Raw, good to see you, my friend. Talking a little ham radio here. Okay. So there we go. All right. Had a lot of housekeeping here. All right. We actually do have some things to talk about here. Now, one of the things that, people need to know is, if you go out there and you do stupid things, you're going to have, you play stupid games, get stupid prizes. Well, Florida man who shot down sheriff's drone gets 4 years in prison. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this article up. Okay. It defies logic sometimes. Okay. But I think you'll find out a little more when I share this article here with you, okay? A 52-year-old man who shot down a high-end DJI drone belonging to the Lake County Sheriff's Office in Florida has been sentenced to 4 years in federal prison. Here's the whole story, okay? He did this July 11, 2021. He shot a Matrice 300 belonging to the Sheriff's Office in Mount Dora, which is near the Orlando area, and his name lists the guy's name here. He thought the drone was sent to harass him, okay? But all the drone was doing was helping the police investigate a possible burglary at a neighboring business property. Since officers had to comb through an area spanning 10 acres, they were using the drone to speed up the outdoor search. That is when they heard 2 gunshots. The drone dropped to the ground and caught fire. When deputies responded to the location of the gunfire, they confronted the gentleman, who acknowledged that he shot down the drone with a .22 caliber rifle. And it gets better here, guys, okay? After explaining that he saw the drone as a nuisance, he also admitted to the police he could not lawfully possess a firearm because he was a convicted felon, okay? And it still gets even better than this, okay? A record check confirmed that he had a total of 29 prior felony convictions in Florida. The list included aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, resisting arrest with violence, illegal drug possession, burglary, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. You believe this guy? Okay. He's like the who's who of, yeah, okay. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, the U.S. Department of Transportation, Lake County Sheriff's Office jointly investigated the case. On October 5, he pleaded guilty to possessing a firearm as a convicted felon. They sentenced him to 4 years in federal prison on February 22nd. He could have been sentenced to a maximum of 10 years, okay? I know all of you know better, okay? Or I'm going to say 99% of you know better, all right? And this is just me, just my, I don't know, my little rant here, okay? I know all of you guys know better, all right? Seriously. You know, all you guys out there, you're responsible, you do your thing, and yeah, it's just, yeah. It's just unbelievable stupidity here, okay? The guy was a convicted felon. He says, I can't have my gun. I can't have a firearm. How do you get a firearm, okay? That's a whole nother story. I'm not even going there and opening up that can of worms, okay? Oh, yeah, and I'm a convicted felon as well, too. Wow. Okay. Well, this is, I think this is also, this is a good thing in terms of they're showing that they're enforcing the law here. Okay. And they need to do a better job here in the state of Florida as far as driving is concerned, and all the illegal things people do every day in driving. They need to enforce that too. This is an excellent start. Okay. But for the drone community, it's good news. Okay. Saying we're not going to tolerate this. Okay. You're going to go and spend time in prison. Of course, you know, I'm sure his past history also had a lot to do with it too. Now, if this was a guy and it was, say, you know, he had a good lawyer and he maybe showed it was accidental, he didn't mean to do it, something or other, and he hadn't been convicted of anything before, you know, he might have gotten off with a much lighter sentence than this gentleman did. But because this gentleman has a history, and he has a credible history, okay, 4 years. And I thought 4 years is good, okay? You know, so we'll see on this. But it's kind of a warning, you know, it's kind of a warning, but I think, you know, it's one of those things that we all have to be, you know, mindful of, and that there are stupid people in the world, and, you know, stupid people do stupid things. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Okay. I don't know what else to say about that. All right. We're going to move on here. All right. Down $90. DJI Mini 3 is the best beginner drone of 2024. All right. Let's go ahead and look at that. That's a DJI Mini 3, not the Mini 3 Pro. I want to be real careful with that. Okay. Real careful here. Okay. The Mini 3 is an affordable, travel-friendly aircraft that features the same 1 1/3 inch CMOS sensor and f over 1.7 aperture as the more expensive Mini 3 Pro. The Mini 3, the best part, the Mini 3 is currently on sale for $469, a significant markdown from its original retail price of $559. Okay, all these are, and of course, you know, it goes in and talks about all the features of the Mini 3 right here. I was going to say Mini 3 Pro. I caught myself here. So, but if it interests you, it is on sale. Lauren, welcome. Good to see you too as well. And John AU, I think from Australia. Okay, John, welcome. Good to see you too. Bush Green is here. And John Olson, I don't know if I welcome you, and Stephanie. Okay, good to see you guys here. Okay. There's Mr. Ron Brown.
Hello, Bill. How are you tonight?
I'm doing fine, Ron. How are you?
Good.
I just put out a new video today of I used the Air 3 to fly around my truck, and I can't tell. I had so much fun.
Tacoma?
Yeah, Tundra.
Sorry.
And I had so much fun doing it, Ron. It was a blast.
That sounds great. What if my Toyota named both their trucks the same first letter?
I don't know. Well, you know what everybody calls the Tacoma. They call them tacos. Okay. because
Okay.
it's TACO. Okay, so everybody calls them tacos. That's
Okay.
in the vernacular here. But my station's taken, or my channel's taken off really well. I've gotten 42 subscribers, got almost 2,000 views on my first video. My second video is starting to take off as well too. So I'm
Great.
really, really pleased, real pleased with
Great.
that.
Good. Glad
Doing
for you,
real
Bill.
well. The first thing that we talked about tonight was a Florida man got arrested for shooting a police drone down, a
Yes.
DJI Matrice 300, and he got sentenced to 4 years. The guy was a convicted felon to begin with, and
That's probably why he's doing the 4 years more because the gun he had was what wasn't licensed or whatever. He didn't have
he couldn't have
probably 4
firearms.
years
He
is
wasn't allowed
mostly
to
for
have
the gun
firearms.
violations.
Yeah, so it's kind of ridiculous. And then this was just a quick article about the Mini 3 on sale right now for $469. Just want to make people aware of that if that's something that they're interested in. It has a lot of great features on it, and you get a lot of bang for your buck with this drone. So,
if you're looking for a budget drone, maybe shy away from those Holy Stones over on Amazon, and maybe look at this Mini 3.
Yeah, it's a good choice. It's a very good choice. Now the Mini 3 Pro is also in the news too, and this was a real interesting article that I found. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Okay, DJI Mini 3 Pro transforms into a barcode scanning drone with Anyline tech. Okay, the software boasts features such as continuous scanning and multi barcode capture that enables uninterrupted scanning of up to 30 barcodes within the camera frame simultaneously. And the captured data integrates directly with existing inventory management systems. Okay, so imagine having this in a warehouse, and instead of having to manually scan things, one by one, you could scan pallets from a Mini 3 Pro.
Just on a flyby.
Yeah, just on a flyby.
Wow. Well, I wonder how big the barcodes have to be on the boxes.
Yeah, the article didn't get into too much detail. Now there's a video, and I did not watch the video, but I don't know things like how fast you're going. You probably have to go slow, I would imagine. You probably can't go too fast.
Yeah, but I mean, a factory, how fast you're going to go anyways, right?
Yeah, so it would have to have some kind of speed to it. You just can't, you just can't go, and you don't want to do a snail's pace, because if you're doing it at a snail's pace, you're still, I see good and bad. I see pros and cons with this, but it's interesting.
I think the other part of this would be not only scanning the barcodes, but to fly in some sort of automation mode.
Mm-hmm.
Where a human's not flying by every single box that it's almost like you're setting up a waypoint mission and it's flying around.
Exactly.
And the operators are sitting there making sure everything's working well.
My whole thing is this: is if it's flying indoors, then you're going to have no GPS, and that's going to be an issue as well too.
Now, if you were flying a waypoint mission where it knew where it had to go, would that make a difference, Bill?
Yeah, I think so. I think it would work, but I've never tested waypoints indoors. So
you're right. If you need GPS, you would have to fly manually then if you couldn't get a full GPS. So that's a good that's a good thought there, Bill.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this and see what's going on there. Now there was talk about another drone in the news, and this was kind of alarming when I came across this article today. A spat of drone sightings reported in banned U.S. Air Force jet fighter airspace, including at least one collision. Okay, something strange and incredibly dangerous has been happening in the Arizona skies, where pilots of advanced F-16 and F-35 fighter jets reported 22 sightings and at least one collision with drones in and around restricted U.S. Air Force zones. But beyond the basic details of those encounters, the mystery surrounding them remains, it says total, but it should remain untold. Revelation of these drone sightings by the Air Force pilots is the work of TV station Arizona's Family, whose investigative unit uncovered and pursued the story. Its main findings were from October 22 to June 2023. At least 22 cases of drone flights near F-16 and F-35 jets on training missions were reported to officials, including one involving a high-speed collision. Okay, location of that strike lies within the particularly restricted area R230 1E, which is part of itself as a highly controlled airspace of the Barry M. Goldwater Range, used by the Air Force for pilot training and sensitive ground exercises. Okay, it says, and here's a what was put up there. F-16 TUS rear of canopy struck by orange white UAS while operating within restricted air R230 1E, extent of damage unknown. Federal administration report on the incident noted in one of the few documents authorities provided. Arizona families request for information. No injuries reported. Approximate 46 west-southwest GLA Bend. Okay. And then the article seems to get into some more about this as well too. You know, as stupid as stupid does, Ron.
Yeah, Bill, I have one question for you. I know it's not in the article and you're not going to know it, but a highly sensitive area like this, this would seem to be something that would probably be a DJI Geo zone. So that a DJI drone would not take off unless it got unlocked or whatever by you contacting DJI. So I'm taking a guess that this probably isn't DJI drones doing this, Bill.
Well, they talked about an orange drone hitting it. So
DJI doesn't have the geo zones.
They don't.
DJI
doesn't have any orange drones.
Of course, the Phoebe Mini 2 comes in orange also.
Yeah. I don't think it was a mini drone. I think it would had to be something beefier. My guess is probably some kind of Autel drone because a lot of them are orange.
Full size Autel,
yeah. And also too the altitude. Now you realize these guys normally operate anywhere from 10,000 to 50,000 feet and above, and you know how they get up there. You know, it defies me how they're able to get out there. I have no idea.
Right. So many drones in the same area, whatever. This sounds like it's more than just a we'll call a cowboy drone flyer out there, Bill.
Yeah, something is going on with this. And I don't know, you know, and it also, you know, and I'll say this, Ron, it leads me to believe maybe an agency from the federal government is testing something to see what the Air Force's response is. You know, maybe it's some kind of an audit or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing this out there.
You think we'll ever see a follow-up of this story, or this kind of just end here?
This kind of just ends here, but I think maybe there might be some follow-up on this as well too. You know, Drone DJ, you know, they do a good job reporting articles like this. So I'll keep my eye out, and if we get any updates on it, I want to talk about that.
Yeah, because obviously with remote ID now, they should be able to find the location of whoever's flying these drones, right, Bill?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, you think about it. You know, when they had the Super Bowl, you know, they had all kind of equipment set. You know, if a drone entered the airspace, that they would catch it. And you would think, okay, now one of the areas I've only flown there once. It's called Apollo Beach here, and it faces Tampa Bay. But the area it's in, it's about, you can't fly more than a mile because you'll hit the restricted airspace of MacDill Air Force Base. Okay, because MacDill is right in downtown Tampa, right next to. I mean, right in downtown Tampa, yeah. And you know that zone comes out at least 5 miles from MacDill, and you can only go in that direction for a mile, and you have to stop. Okay, you know that there's no questions asked about that. So you know, my thinking is what they're doing is they're probably testing capabilities that the Air Force has to detect this, and apparently it boggles my mind, Ron, how law enforcement agencies and everybody can get set up for the Super Bowl and have ways to be able to detect drones for the Super Bowl, which is a good thing. All right. But here with the Air Force, they're letting drones.
They can't secure a military base. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, how that happens, I don't know. But as my dad used to say, somebody's going to catch some HE double hockey sticks.
Yeah. And I have a feeling that, you know, the story, we're missing a lot of the elements of this story.
Yeah, I think so too. There's a lot more than meets the eye. And this watchdog group found this out. If we didn't know about that,
Yeah.
So
Uh,
if they didn't find out about it, we wouldn't have found out about
well,
it. So,
don't tell Lee Stefanik about this.
yeah. So who knows? And that we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. But one of the other things I wanted to say, and I think you're on the email chain. I know Marcus is. Our good friend Richard, he's in the chat tonight.
Yep, saw him in the chat.
He recently bought a Fimi X8 SE Pro.
He bought the Pro. The Pro.
He got the Pro.
Yeah.
And he's currently undergoing some testing with it. He's waiting for the controller. I believe the controller hasn't come yet. And he
couldn't find his current smart controller.
Yeah. And it's a second version of that TX10. It's the second version of this controller. It's an updated one. And he's reported some very interesting things. And Gorilla Man's in on these emails as well, too. So, Richard, keep us posted. Again, I want to publicly thank you for these emails. And you're going out there and taking your hard-earned money and testing Fimi. I know what Marcus would say. Okay. I don't even have to, he doesn't even have to be here, but I know what he would say about that. But no, I wanted to call attention to Richard and thank you for doing that. I think that's a real good dedication, and we'll see.
Bill, the odd thing about the Pro is it seems the camera's his weak point. That's kind of baffling to call yourself a pro drone and your camera's lacking.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. And speaking of here's Mr. Fimi right here.
Yeah, Mr. Fimi himself here.
Mr. Fimi's right here.
Oh, don't paint me with that paintbrush, boys.
That's a 4-letter word. Fimi is a 4-letter word.
Marcus's channel was made by the exploding prop on the Fimi X8.
Yeah, that's true. Listen, Fimi is a company that I've always had high hopes for, right? Well, what I'll say is they've never failed to let us down.
Well, I mean, just kind of like the Hups and Zeno. The first original, Fimi X8 was quite a reach for the company. They produced, an affordable drone that had a lot of stuff going for it. But again, just like Hubson, they haven't seemed to be able to iterate very fast since those initial good first steps.
Yeah, we had high hopes for both of those companies, and they've just never quite towed the mark. So, it is what it is. I'll tell you, you can call me a DJI fanboy if you want, but, they work. And if we're stuck with one drone manufacturer, I'm really glad it's DJI.
And I'll say if Fimi does release a new drone tomorrow and they fix all the issues, whatever, and it flies as well as the DJI and films as well, I'll be the first one in line to get one.
I totally agree with you. I agree with that statement 100%, Ron. I'd be right there in line too. But let me tell you a little bit of nuance here. So in the past, I always jumped on board. They'd come up with a new offering, and I'd be the first one putting in my pre-order for that. And as you guys know, we wait 3 months, 4 months, and you don't know, you get no communication.
You have no idea what's going on with your money, your drone.
No idea. They've got your money that whole time. And then finally you get the product, and it's never failed to fail for me. There's always something. My latest one, the Fimi X8 SE 2022 version, the arms are already starting to crack on it. Well, gosh, I've flown it maybe 12 times. It's just poor quality. That's all I can tell you. You get what you pay for.
And you've had cracking arms since the first one, so it's an issue they don't even that's a known issue that they do not resolve.
Yeah, that's been known for years. I mean, that's been happening. I mean, like 4, 5, 6 years. It's been going on. It has not changed at all. So what I was just saying, Marcus, right before you joined us, I said, and I know you're in the email chain too, and I thanked Richard for being our, Fimi watchdog. If you want to do, he just said send offering. But going out there, getting this and testing this, and letting us know what it's like, and we still, I'm always hopeful. I'm always one that holds out hope. hope against hope here. So
totally agree, Bill. I'm with you. I keep hoping that one of these days they'll come out with one that that just blows our minds and is a great value.
They're kind of like that close, okay? But there's been a lot of bad communication. I'm just going to put it in the terms bad communication, okay, and a lot of untruths from them. Okay,
hey, Bill, highlight Lauren's most recent comments. Only 2 from the bottom right now.
That's how they do it in Canada, Ron. You know that.
Actually, Marcus, did you sort of kind of use a poly glue in your first one on the correct arm?
I did actually, and I bought a new arm, but I decided not to put the new arm on there because I think that glue that I put on there is probably stronger than the original. So yeah,
you're probably right.
Yeah,
you're probably right. I wanted to give a quick update before we get to the main topic tonight on that bill before Congress. There's a couple things that really kind of concern me. Okay. And one of them isn't about the bill per se, but I've watched several videos out on YouTube, and I'm going to say this from some that are known reviewers out there, and some that aren't known. Okay, there's been a lot of fear mongering. Okay, and I want to say this: you guys, myself, and I know a lot of people who I associate with. Okay. We're out there. We're presenting it out there to you as is. Okay, we're not injecting anything into this. We're not saying oh, they're gonna it's passed a couple of committees. It's gonna be law. You better
sell your drones for a fast.
Sell your drones. All that kind. No, we're not fear mongering. Okay, and I think that's one of the worst things you can do. And I know a lot of these guys are doing it for clickbait. Okay, but you know what? Don't play around with clickbait with an issue like this. Okay. If you want to say that you filmed, a 20-story whatever, okay, what in the middle of winter without any clothes on, go ahead, okay, that's fine. But when you're doing stuff like this, don't. There's no space for that, okay, because that aggravated me. I saw a couple of them out there, and it's really kind of irritated me to no end, okay. And the other thing is this about this whole issue here, all right, I did a lot of thinking about it. And one of the things that it really, and I talked to some other people too, and one of the things that kept coming back to me is this, okay? They're all focused, they're saying security, 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 okay? Yeah. Has nothing to do with security, guys, okay? I'm thoroughly convinced with this. It's Amazon, it's other delivery services, it's them wanting to get in and clear the airspace.
The size of us pesky hobbyist drones.
Get exactly, Ron. Get rid of the hobbyists out there. Okay, that's the whole.
Bill, I'm not sure it's even that. Although that may be part of it. I think it's not quite that simple. I think that there's part of that stigma that comes with camera drones. These drones with a camera on there. It's that whole idea of people have this idea that you're spying on them all the time. I think that is part of the stigma that from the very beginning has come with GPS camera drones.
Of course, I agree with Marcus from the we'll call it the Karen tapes or whatever. But for somebody like Stefanik or whatever, of course she's the security thing, but also from big government. Like what was the gentleman's name? This happened during. Again, it got nothing to do with Obama, but during the Obama administration, this guy that was didn't work directly for the CIA, was a contractor. He revealed that the U.S. is spying on its own citizens. What's the man's name? It was.
Oh, he's over in Russia now.
Yeah, he's in Russia now.
Yeah.
He proved that the U.S. is spying on its own citizens through their technology. So, of course, if they were spying before drones, they probably had military type drones back then. But anyhow, we spy on ourselves. Our own government spies on us as much as the China would or the foreign governments would.
But Bill, I agree with what you're saying is part of it. I'm just saying it's one of the pieces of the puzzle.
But which piece of the puzzle is the biggest? Are drones being banned because of rogue cowboy drone flyers in the community? Are they being banned because of Karens worrying about spying issues and flying over their houses? Or is the bigger chunk fear of data going back to the CCP in China? Which of those three, which has the biggest chunk?
I'll tell you, the data going back to the Chinese Communist Party part of it is about this much.
That's the whole chunk.
Yeah.
And except for Elise Stefanik.
Well, yeah, exactly.
For her, it's the whole pie.
Yeah.
Well, you know, one of the things I'm going to agree with Marcus. I think it's a divided pie here. Okay. As far as the reasons are concerned, but I think one of the things that's really driving this is economics. Okay. Because, you know, you have your Amazon, your UPS, FedEx, other place. I mean, you know, we're talking millions and billions of dollars, you know, going on around here. But here's the other thing that I'll say with this, and then we're going to move on because I don't want to get bogged down in this. All right.
Before you move to one, thank you, Jaybird. He came up with it. Edward Snowden was the guy that the CIA, or CIA, at least maybe more government, were spying on its own citizens.
And I want to thank Barkley for coming up with that name too. Barkley, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You know, what I'm going to say to end all this is this. Okay, I think it's all the above, but I think the major piece of this is it's driven by it's money is driving this. Okay. And that's why it is. But, you know, conversely speaking, and I'm going to say this as far as commercial drone flying and deliveries are concerned, 5 years ago, they said, oh, yeah, this is going to happen. You know, there was a lot of fear mongering back then 5 years ago when we first started our channels and stuff. Look out. OK, they still haven't advanced. OK, they're still not there. There's ways to go before they do this autonomous home delivery stuff.
In fact, Russ over 51 Drones, he just put out a video recently where he's kind of saying, you know, he's saying it's not like it's a false thing, but he thinks it'd be 5 years before they actually would get this accomplished at the earliest.
Oh yeah, it's off.
That they come in your house and confiscate your drones.
Yeah. So I mean, and they've been talking about that with other stuff for years. Okay, we're going to move on to this. Okay,
that's a never-ending conversation.
That conversation, we could be here for 2 hours tonight. Okay.
Hey, can I just make one more comment?
Sure thing.
It out, Marcus.
Really, at the end of the day, I think we're safe with our drones. Other than, I'm going to throw one caveat out there, and Ron knows I think where I'm going to go. Mm-hmm. I think you have to worry way more about local legislation than you do about at the federal level. I mean, in your city or town or whatever, your homeowners association.
These people could do it without really getting an approval.
That's right. They just have a city council meeting and they say, no more taking off.
Put the drone flying up tomorrow.
Here's a
now, obviously,
caveat,
they can't tell you can't fly over the place, but they can sure tell you can't take off.
Well, I'm going to throw in a little caveat here. Okay. I just contacted my congressman, and both of my senators about a bill that's before Congress. It's called the HO. It has something to do with the HOA Act, but it's for the FCC with ham radio. Okay. And it will allow people to erect permanent antennas on their properties that live in an HOA, and the HOA can't do anything about it because it's for emergency communication during disasters. Hence, you know, hurricane season down here. I mean, that's one of the things. But also, too, you know, one of the things that you can say as well, you know what? I have a drone and I can get up there and I can see, you know, if power lines are down the road, if there's traffic congestion somewhere, you know, if we need to get an alternate route somewhere, you know, I can get out there, and it's part of the emergency preparedness kind of a thing in communications. So you could tie something like that.
Right. And the CCP can watch all that all they want. They're not going to gain any advantage seeing you seeing flooded out streets or whatever.
Yeah.
John Flynn is making a comment there that he said Michigan is a preemption state, and I believe Arizona is as well. Arizona at the state level made a law that said localities can't make anti-drone legislation, and furthermore, they added in Arizona that a city they have to have a drone-friendly park. So
Well,
you can actually fly drones in.
That's great, Marcus. But New Jersey has some sort of law in the book too that local communities can't make their own drone rules up. But guess what? They do it anyways, and nobody ever follows up to stop them on it.
Yeah, they'd lose in court.
Right, but again, you'd have to. How much would you be willing to spend as a private citizen to make that happen in court?
Yeah, I think if you stood up in front of a judge and just said, "Hey, here's the state law," he'd say, "Yeah, he'd throw it out." Trust me.
Yeah, well, I
don't
mean,
think you'd even need a lawyer.
You know, a lot of these shore towns have these laws against not flying drones. I've never read when anybody's ever been prosecuted for those drone signs.
And so there, you make another. That's a great point, Ron. And that's an excellent point. They'll make those kind of laws sometimes, and they're never enforced.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that the policemen don't tell you can't fly drones,
right,
or maybe they don't even arrest you. Maybe they even get arrested. But to actually see anybody convicted, I've never seen that on record.
Well, Ron.
I've
so an example
of flying in little nothing town on the Jersey Shore. I've never seen anybody convicted of that crime.
So Bill, just stop us if we're going too far down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, because he wants to get busy on the next topic.
I just was going to mention what Eddie said last night about New York.
Yes,
that they don't seem to be bothering anybody. New York put out that new law that
the most restrictive in the country. Yeah,
and he said they're really not bothering.
Nothing much has changed if you're a drone flyer, Bill.
Right, that's good.
So go on to the next topic. We went on way too long.
One of the things that I wanted to spend the last few minutes talking about tonight was the Next DJI Drone. Okay. Now we know, hearing from Lauren, we're not going to see anything until April. Okay, which we all know.
That's usually a month where something gets released from DJI, so that makes sense, Bill.
Exactly. Okay, it kind of really fits in line. Okay. Now, I think, and I think I can agree with you. I think you guys would probably agree with me. I think we're going to see some kind of DJI Avata 2, something along those lines with improvements. What do you guys think?
We've been thinking, and the first thing out of the gate for DJI this year will be some kind of an FPV drone. That's been a narrative for quite a while now. I have no inside information or anything like that to confirm any of that, but that's what we've heard. Marcus?
I'll be damned if I know.
Well, we're all kind of, we all kind of think that's going to be, that's just, just off the, we're just shooting at the hip.
I mean, because they're the drones, like the original FPV drone is probably the longest drone in the line that has been updated. Well, not counting the Phantom 5 and Spark 2. And even the Avata is much older in line than, say, the Air or the Mavic or the Mini. So they're the drones most due for it.
They're kind of long in the tooth.
We're just going on basically math here.
Yeah, but it's just kind of, they're just kind of long in the tooth and really are in need of an update, I think. Okay,
when we had Eddie on last night, he was complaining about the Avata 2's lack of the dynamic range in the camera that is not even on par with, say, the Mini 4 or something.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Those cameras need to start to come up to the level of say like the Mini 4 Pro,
the Mini drone,
and the Mini drones, okay, because they're not there yet. And I think that's one of the things, as people get more comfortable with drones like the Avata, and we see now that a lot more people are coming on board. DJI is going to be have to get their technology ramped up and get their cameras better and get them to where it's near the quality of, say, like a Mini 4 Pro right now. Okay. Right,
because so many people do the self-built FPVs where they put the better cameras on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're kind of in agreement about that. And this is just purely conjecture here, okay? But I think after that, okay, what do you guys think would be on DJI's radar next after, say, an FPV drone?
Well, they've in the past few years, we've seen a new DJI Mini. So I would guess around October, November or so, we'll see a Mini 5. What they could do with it. Everybody says a 1-inch sensor. Okay, boy, that's a big ask to put on a sub 250 gram drone, but who knows? Whatever it is, it'll be fun and we'll love it.
Yeah, a lot of us don't think the Air 3S is coming, but would they release a Mini 5 with a 1-inch sensor and have the Air 3 be at a smaller sensor size? Do you think that would happen?
That's a good question. That's
yeah,
a real good question.
That's another great point, Ron. Yeah, that they probably would. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
And to answer the original question, Bill, what if, for instance, they don't update the Mavic 3 Pro this year? Say the Mavic 4 is not coming until 2025, and what if they don't make an Air 3S this year? They just put an Air 4 out in 2025. Could you see the possibility of maybe 2 FPV drones being released kind of this spring and summer?
I need to stop you guys
in the fall.
I need to stop you guys all right there, because there's one guy that knows better than us, and he's saying 3 new drones, and he's saying no 1-inch sensor on a Mini.
That's not surprising, because again,
I didn't want you to, Ron. You were going on, and I thought, you know what, Lauren's the guy that knows.
Yeah. Well, again, I remember I'm the one who threw that out. Could they release a Mini drone with a 1-inch sensor and not have a 1-inch sensor Air 3?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Well, here, and I want to throw this out too, okay? Because the original Mavic 3, okay, that's getting a little long in the tooth, okay, and the DJI
it's discontinued,
right?
The original Mavic 3 is gone.
It's gone. Okay.
The Mavic 3 Pro, correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus, Mavic 3 Pro and the Mavic 3 Classic are still in production. Is that correct?
They are, and yeah, that Mavic 3 Pro.
But the original Mavic 3 is kaput. I mean, you can still buy it as refurb and use it, whatever, but it's out of the line, Bill. So you are right. It's very long in the tooth.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is this, okay? If DJI decides to do a Mavic 4, all right, they're going to come out. You'll see a DJI RC Pro 2 with that. I can just about guarantee you that, okay?
Yeah.
And and you'll probably see a new OcuSync with this as well too, all right? Which will beg the question, it'll be the first question that everybody will ask, okay? Will that be compatible with my Air 3? Will that be compatible with my Mavic 3 Pro? Okay. No, it's going forward. It's going forward here. It's not, looking back. And I think that,
well, if the Mavic 4 comes out this summer, it'll get the OcuSync 4 that we already have. If it comes out in 2025, that could be OcuSync 5 by then.
And all of a sudden, our friend up in North Texas is playing Sergeant Schultz on us.
I know nothing. Hey, let me ask you both of you guys. You guys are both fans of the Mavic. Do you think DJI maybe kind of messed up a little last time with the Mavic 3? Do you think the very first Mavic 4 will be the Mavic 4 Pro? Why not release your best version of the drone first?
Well, Ron, you've schooled me on that before, that's kind of DJI's history, although they didn't do it with the Mavic 3. But the way you've explained it to me is typically the big dog is first, and then the lesser ones come after.
Yeah, so do you think they'll go back to their old way of releasing the Mavic 4 Pro? We'll see that first?
Yeah. Your guess is as good as mine. But I know what I want to see on that drone.
Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I know exactly.
Probably the same thing Chuck was talking about on Drone Therapy last week.
Darn right. The optical
zoom lens.
Yeah.
I don't need 3, 4, 5 lenses on a giant gimbal. Just give me that zoom with that range from whatever 20 to 80 or whatever,
So but think of the challenge that is for an engineer on a drone. Because you're hanging that thing off of a gimbal, and so that gimbal is going to have to somehow know, as that leverage increases, that weight goes further out, that it has to add more strength to hold that camera up. Yeah, that's quite
they're going to have to use the Apple technology like in the iPhone 15 Pro and have a zoom lens that doesn't move.
Yeah. Well, Ron, that's not exactly true, because what Apple does is they're switching between lenses just like we do, and when you're in between, when I'm in between the 2x or the 2x and the 5x, it's just cropping on one of those sensors. It's not
Yeah, well, well, back to the main thing. They've got to develop some sort of a zoom lens that doesn't hang way out or whatever. You know what I mean? It's got to it's almost, it has to be extended to begin with and just moves internally. That way, it won't have to rebalance weight.
I know, I'm with you. It's an engineering challenge.
Yeah. Well, Bill, this is the engineering 101 show here.
Yeah.
Mark's got our engineering degrees at the Motel 6.
Yeah.
Or we'll get our engineering degrees down at the South Florida Drone Meetup down at the hotel.
Right. I'll get it verified at the Hampton.
The Hampton Inn. We'll have our engineering drone engineering 101 down there. But you guys make some valid points here, okay? And it is an engineering challenge for DJI to come up with these things, okay? For example, okay, say like a Mini 5 Pro, okay? And we were talking about that a little earlier with a 1-inch sensor, okay? But yet, that weight limit is so important, and it's so important in Canada, over in Europe, okay, and outside this country. It makes a big difference over there for their rules and regulations and how they fly these drones. So it's a real challenge for them. Plus,
hey, Bill, I don't have the specs written down here, but you have the Pocket 3. Does the gimbal and camera head on that look that much bigger than what's on the Mini 4?
No.
So it doesn't seem like it's that. I mean, I may be all wrong. It may weigh more. It may be actually, but just on the look test, the naked eye test, the 1-inch sensor in the Pocket 3 doesn't look much better than what's on the front, bigger than what's on the front of the Mini 5. I mean, Mini 4.
Yeah, just eyeballing it. Yeah, I agree with you, Ron. Yeah. It's just
it doesn't seem like impossible. It seems like in the realm of possibility.
Yeah. I would agree with something like that. I think it would be in the realm of possibility. And again, they also have the challenge as far as the battery is concerned. All right, because they'll want to they want to really watch that weight limit, but yet, and here we go again. When we had the two versions of the battery, and RID is in one, RID is in the other one. Now is a whole can of worms.
Yeah, I mean, but I think they can rectify that. But they released a Mini 5. They should release a Mini 5 and a Mini 5 Pro. The Mini 5 only runs on the 250 gram or under batteries or whatever, and the other drone runs on the heavier batteries. So in other words, hobbyists, you buy the Mini 5. Professional pilot, you buy the Mini 5 Pro, and one is under 250 gram, the other isn't. But guys, you realize if they could put a 1-inch sensor on the Mini 5 Pro and maybe beef up a couple other ones, once that thing had a 1-inch sensor, that would be even professional. The other drones would suffer because everybody would buy that. If that drone had that camera quality on it, that drone would be maybe the only drone I'd have.
That's a good point. I can't argue that. And we talk about this, and I'm looking at some of the guys in the chat, and I'm trying to find that one that just okay. Air 3 so versatile, hard to beat, good size, great camera, OcuSync works.
Drone of the year.
Yeah, I mean that's a hard drone for me to beat. And what it's gonna take for somebody like me, and I'll let you guys, I'll throw this out to you after I'm done. But for me to say, look at like a Mini, or not Mini, but say like a Mavic 4 Pro, okay, with a controller, okay, it's gonna have to walk on water. All right, I mean, I'm being facetious, but for real. It's going to have to do some things
because of the sticker shock of the price, right, Bill?
Well, depending on price, Bill, right?
Yeah, it's going to. You're going to see that drone. If you pair it with say like a RC Pro 2, okay, you're going to see that go over $4,000.
Give me a high number here. What do you think the max that could be?
I think, and I'm not talking about a Sydney version. I'm just talking a straight up. Okay, you're probably going to be $4,500 on that. I would say.
Is that at the fly more with a smart controller?
Yep.
Okay.
I got to be honest with you. If it is that much, that's going to be a tough one for me. Maybe. I mean, I love drones. Never say never, but boy, oh boy,
especially if you're flying a 1-inch sensor Mini 5 around, right, Marcus?
Yeah, well, and you guys just were talking about how good the Air 3 is, and as a hobbyist, for my level of what I do, I mean, geez.
I mean the Air 3, the Air 3 made what if they put dual 1-inch sensors on the Air 3? What if they put the main camera and the 3x tele 1-inch sensors? That makes that like a real home run then, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I really like my Mavic 3 Pro. I have no regrets about buying that drone, but I'm into it. Because I was already to kind of be able to keep my fly more stuff.
You an upgrader.
Right. So really, it didn't cost me that much to upgrade to it. But if it let me just step back just a little bit, Bill. If that whole package, the Mavic 4 with a Fly More kit and with a Pro controller, was $3,500, it'd be real close for me, right? I'd be thinking really, really hard about it.
Right.
That other $500, taking it to $4,000.
Well, not maybe close to 45. Yeah.
That much, right? I don't. I've got a bunch of drones back here. I don't know if I'd fly it that much.
And now don't get me wrong, or I don't think Mark's wrong either. That 4/3 camera on the main camera, 4/3 camera is the best camera out there on a consumer drone.
Ron and I just had that conversation today, Bill. You just cannot dispute what comes off of that micro 4/3 camera.
The main camera,
Mavic 3. It is stunning, and Ron attributes a lot of it to the Hasselblad color science. It is amazing.
It's an auto. I don't need a whole lot of delogging and stuff with that.
It does. It takes care of itself. Well, one of the things that I want to do, and we're going to kind of wrap things up here. One of the things that we can think about, per se, and I'm just going to finish up with the Mavic 4 Pro again too. If they would break it up, just give you a regular base controller like they do with the like we have with the Air 3 or with the Mini 4 Pro, okay, and then have the option to upgrade to like an RC Pro 2 kind of a thing, then that package would be considerably less, probably in the ballpark that you're talking about $3,500, and I think that would be within reach of a lot of people. What do you got?
I definitely would live with a DJI RC 2 type controller for the Mavic 4, and maybe not get the Pro.
I could too.
I don't know. I'm just gonna tell you. I don't know.
You like your Pro?
Yeah.
We'll see. It's the thing, and I did this. Okay, when I had my Mavic 3. All right. I ended up buying the controller after the fact. I didn't buy it bundled. Okay, and I found kind of it was a better price that I got. I think I got it at Arama or B&H. I'm not sure, but I got a little bit better price. I saved about $150, almost $200 on it when I did it. So I did, I kind of shop smartly, but you make a good point. The controller, it's like, okay, you're getting like strawberries on top of your ice cream. All right.
Right.
When you're getting the RC Pro 2, but the RC, say an RC 2 with that, okay, it's going to work just fine. It's going to give you everything that you need out there. There's no extra bells and whistles.
The screen's brighter, but it's no bigger.
Yeah.
And exactly. I tell you the truth, I have to be confessional. I mean, I had the RC Pro. Well, they didn't have ones of screens before that. But I mean, I don't use the HDMI out. I don't own third-party apps. I don't take any advantage of most of the upper-level features that the RC Pro offers outside of seeing 300 extra nits.
And the extra buttons and stuff on there, Ron, make a difference.
Well, it does. You have the whatever
so it is. Easier when
it's a 5-way joystick. But I even make bad use of the 5-way joystick. I set it all up with all the things I want on, and then never use it.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, that's my own fault that I don't take advantage of every feature it offers. But I don't. So I'm paying a lot of extra money to have 300 more nits on my screen. Hey, good night, Lauren. Good night, Sergeant Schultz. Lauren.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
he's gonna watch a Hogan's Heroes episode, Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I found a Hogan's Heroes fan club on Facebook. Okay, Anyway, okay. Any closing thoughts, guys?
Just that stay tight, folks. I mean, Bill's probably great. We're probably not going to see another drone for at least another month or whatever. And really, Bill, the dead giveaways when we see Igor start posting stuff again. Igor's been real quiet. Nothing's happening. But again, we got plenty of great drones out here. Now, if you've bought a DJI drone in the last year or two, you're flying a great drone already. So, get out there and fly what you got or whatever. Don't have this, you envy that, my drone's no good anymore because a new one's coming out in a month or so. So, that's all, as far as compensate, that's all I have to say on this subject, Marcus.
South Florida drone meetups coming up. Think about what drones you're going to bring. What drones you're going to bring to the
good topic.
Yeah. So Ron and I have had this discussion already. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to bring, but I'm keeping it under my hat.
And I'm packing a little bit later. The key question is, what drones are Michael Wright bringing? That's Michael Wright. Want to know.
No. Okay. No, I'm going to stop you right there, Ron. Not what drones is he bringing.
Which one's he leaving at home?
We need to have a contest. How many drones is Michael Wright bringing to the South Florida drone meetup?
Bill, Michael Wright may bring more drones than he leaves at home.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah.
He may stop at Best Buy when he gets in Florida.
You have sales tax in Florida?
That's possible.
Bill, you got the sales tax?
Yeah, and it's pretty stiff. It's a pretty stiff sales tax.
Oh boy.
Because we don't have income. We don't pay state income tax. Okay, like that's a nice thing when it comes tax time. We don't have to do state income tax.
But they hit you up at the stores.
But we pay for it at the cash register.
So the reddest state in the country, Idaho, is like tax hell. They hit us with state income tax. They hit us with property tax. They hit us with a big sales tax. We get all the taxes.
New Jersey, they'll tax the area breathe around here.
Well, Ron could speak to this. Okay, he knows the land of taxes is the state of Pennsylvania. Okay?
PA gets you real good too. Yeah.
Pennsylvania is just it's insanity. Okay, pure freaking.
No, we can talk an hour about the state liquor store, a whole operation, or whatever.
Oh, what a racket that was!
Yeah,
that was a racket. That's what my dad said. My dad said the state liquor stores in the state of Pennsylvania were a racket. It was organized crime run by the state of Pennsylvania.
No, we can start a whole new YouTube channel, and I grew up in PA.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ron and I could bend everybody's ears for hours about stuff. I mean, seriously. And it didn't matter what side of the state you lived on. Okay.
And it's such a big state. So many people have lived in PA at one point. We probably have millions of subscribers.
Oh, I'm sure we would. I'm sure we would do absolutely well. I don't want to know the sentiments of these guys. Okay. Number one, South Florida drone meetup's coming up. Okay. And it looks like Captain Ray is rocking and rolling already. Okay. Just make sure you do your physical therapy, Ray. Okay. I know you're going out. I know you're doing your drone therapy. Just make sure you do your physical therapy.
I think Ray was fishing today.
Yep. You were out there doing stuff. Seriously, though, I will say this, my dad had both his hips replaced. Make sure you do your physical therapy. I can't stress that enough. Okay. But I know you will, right? I'm preaching to the choir, and the old saying is fly what you got. Okay. I have the Air 3. I mean, that thing is just phenomenal.
We're the best drones you've ever had, Bill.
Yeah. I did some those shots that I did of the Tundra. Oh, and Marcus, I have a new video that came out. I flew around my Tundra and I edited it. I had so much fun.
It's the first video starring a DJI drone and a Tundra.
Yeah. Well, okay. And I got a real quick Tundra story before we sign off tonight. Okay. My fiberglass cover that I got on the back, it has a couple of dings in it. Okay. So what they're going to do is where I got it installed, they're going to take it off and send it back to the manufacturer. So what I'm going to do this weekend, all right, one of the tests that I'm going to do is I'm going to put the landing pad in the bed of the Tundra, and I'm going to take off with the Mini 4 Pro, and I'm going to, when I do the landing, I'm going to be hands off until, and make sure that it lands in the bed of the truck. I'm just going to do that.
Truck.
Yeah, I want to see it land in the truck. So
wow.
I'm going to do that.
That'll be
anyway. Guys, thank you so
Ray
much.
just updated as 130 coming to the South Florida drone meetup now.
That's fantastic, Ray. We're glad to hear that. Okay, guys, if you can get down there, we're going to have a lot of fun. Trust me, you want to be there, guys. It's a great day to fly. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Take care.
Thanks.